Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Indiana Jones Radio. Back again with.
Devin Hurt, aka Master of Fear.
We are going to talk about Indiana Jones and the Travels with Father. Um, I I really enjoyed this episode. At both parts actually. We'll talk about the first part from here. What did you think of it?
Um, we're talking about the first part, right?
Right.
Okay, so I really like this. I can't remember his name.
Tolstoy.
Yeah, Tolstoy. I like his interactions with Andy Jones. I
Yeah.
like how they interact with each other.
Well, yeah. Well, and the whole point of the story, why he meets Tolstoy, is Tolstoy ran away because Tolstoy is a very famous author. He wrote War and Peace, Anna Karenina, a lot of very famous Russian stories back in the day. And he was a very rich man, and everybody loved him. He was like a very what's a very famous author now that people absolutely everybody loves now uh,
Stephen King.
yeah, yeah, in a way,
He wasn't like Stephen King, and just like he was famous like Stephen King. Like there's a part in the episode where he goes to this village, him and Jones, and well they don't go together. Indiana Jones gets there first, and he gets up there later. But everybody acknowledges him, loves him. They give him a free meal, like like that.
yeah. And obviously, again, spoilers, people. But I love how he meets Tolstoy. You want to explain that? How does he meet Tolstoy?
Um, he okay, so he runs away from because he gets he knocks and keeps breaking things and gets involved and he's with gags on him. So he runs away, and he's traveling and he goes to sleep on this bag of hay stuff. And then he wakes up. There's this weasel thing. He goes to hit it and he hits the guy in the butt with the thing.
Yeah, he sees it looked like a weasel.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
But I don't think it. I don't. It didn't quite. I don't know. It looked more like a mongoose or something. I don't know. I could.
It was very fast. I was like, I don't know what that thing is.
I couldn't tell. It looked like some sort of weasel or mongoose. And so Indiana Jones has a slingshot, and he shoots Tolstoy in the butt with, I'm assuming, a rock. Which,
Yeah.
and yeah, it's one of the great things about it is who plays Tolstoy is Michael Goff, and that
Yeah.
and for
Him from he's from if Batman, right?
yeah, Batman. He played Alfred in the Tim Burton universe slash Joel Schumacher universe, and he does a really good Russian accent. And yes, we know he's not. I know he's not Russian, but he does a really very good Russian accent, and I really enjoyed him as Tolstoy. And this is overall just a very fun episode. And what I like about it is it kind of went in depth to the fact that some artists, they don't like their work. Toy totally didn't like his work, and
Yeah, that's kind of like me. After I upload a video, I'm like, this is the worst thing ever.
well, yeah, I'm even like that with a lot of my reviews. I mean, I watched them honestly so I could get more views. But I don't like watching myself. Like my family, a lot of times wants to watch my reviews with me and everything. I'm like, please, please don't. Let's not watch my videos. I don't want you to, because I don't. And a lot of directors are like that, and YouTubers probably who and authors. I mean, I know that the only one who I could think of that was probably happy with his work, but he always changed it. So you can argue if he was truly happy with it was J.R.R. Tolkien. He would always read his stuff to his friends, and they would tell him how great it was, but then he would always find something to change. But he did say he liked a lot of his work. But
Yeah.
a lot of artists are like that. Like I know a lot of directors can't watch themselves. Even actors, they can't watch themselves. You know, because they're like, why did I do this? Why did I do that? You know, so you understand it. You know where they go, where you go from there. I think.
Yeah.
And so yeah, and one of the things that they did show is how Tolstoy really did not. He kind of had the same views about I do with going to church. Now I believe in going to church and everything, but Tolstoy, according to the episode, I don't know really. I'd watched the documentary just so I could kind of more like watch it for you guys and explain stuff more. But it seemed to me that Tolstoy kind of had the same views about I do with church and everything. Although I go to church with family and stuff, but after when it comes to actually going to church, I have a lot of views about like, is this pastor really living the life that he is preaching?
Yeah, that part of the episode actually very intrigued me because I was watching, I'm like, is this guy like believe in God? And then what he said about the church is very intriguing. It made me want to learn more about the guy.
Yeah, well, there's a pretty good documentary about him. It's kind of hard to find. You kind of have to. Some of them are kind of like very boring documentaries, and they're like. But there's a pretty good one. I'll text it to you later. But
Okay, so
yeah, he kind of had the same views that I do with church and everything. Like, is this guy really living the godly life that he is preaching? Because every man, and yes, I'm including women in that terminology because man, every man is sinful. So, who are you to preach the word of God when you're not God? Was basically what they kind of talk about with Tolstoy's life, and I kind of have that view on a lot of preachers. And I'm not. I have a family I have family who are preachers, and I have and they're great people and everything, and they they live godly lives too. But I'm not saying that to any preachers out there who are watching this. But a lot of preachers, let's face it, some of them are a bunch of scumbags, sleazeballs, and some of them are some of the worst people at all ever. Let's see. We're not going to go there, but let's put it this way. There are a lot of churches out there with a certain type of religion where it seems like everybody touches somebody. We're not going to go there though. And I think that I don't really know. We're kind of getting deep here. I don't really know how with you how you feel about that. With that, like if we're in agreement there with Tolstoy or not. Hello?
Are you there?
Yeah.
Cut out for a second.
Okay. Well, I don't know how you feel about if we have you have the same views as me and Tolstoy. Where you're kind of for going to church, but you have to wonder about the pastor. Is he truly living a godly life or anything? So.
Yeah. My views. I believe that you should believe in God your own way. Me personally, this might sound, but I kind of lost faith. There's a whole story behind it. I'm just gonna say that I lost faith.
Well, let's pray that you can hopefully get your faith back because it's everything.
It's a whole story. I don't want to get into it because that'd be way too personal.
Yeah, we don't want to get too personal on here, but it was a very intriguing episode. And then the next part we're talking about the next part of the episode now because again, they combined 2 episodes of the TV show into a movie. We get Indiana Jones's mother is.
Before we get into the next episode, I kind of wanted to say this because I kind of wanted to get it out of the way. so I can be focused on the episode. I am doing a Spider-Man interview series. If you watch the channel Mr. Rogues, it's like his Arkham series with Spider-Rogues. If anyone out there wants to voice an iconic Spider-Man villain, please contact me.
All right. So yeah, Devin will leave.
Get that out of the way. If you guys go to my channel right now, I have the first episode on there. Of course, I had to voice both the characters because, yeah, I have no one else to voice.
Yeah, Devin will leave a link to his channel in the comments and contact him through the comments on one of his videos, or he'll find a way to contact you.
Yeah, any Spider fans out there?
And we'll go back to that later on, once we wrap up and everything. But thank you for that. I actually forgot.
Now about this episode. Okay, so it's kind of wavy towards me. I like it. It's not as bad as the other episode we reviewed in the other Indiana Jones original episode.
But yeah, well, what I liked about it was that Indiana Jones's mother, she's getting sicker. Now, we talked about a little bit this in the last episode, I believe.
I think it was towards the end there.
Yeah, where Indiana Jones's mother, she's getting scarlet fever. Although, I think this must have been a very late change, because she still has very early signs of influenza. She has a very high fever. Now, yes, scarlet fever does have a very high fever, but a lot of her symptoms, from what I've done research on, because, with this pandemic, I'll be honest, I've been doing a lot of research on the Spanish flu, because that was our last lockdown. She has a lot of very early signs of influenza. And so, yes, she's getting sicker, and she's kind of getting a little testy with her family, and so she wants Miss Seymour, Indiana Jones' tutor, to watch her, and so Indiana Jones and his father go on an adventure. And
yeah, and this is actually, okay, so spoilers here for anyone. The part I like about the episode is kind of the bond it shows between Indiana Jones and his father.
Yeah, it's a good predecessor to Last Crusade,
Yeah.
And that's what I like about this series is, because I've seen it before, this is, Devin, again, in the intro video, remember, he said he's seen some episodes that he remembers, some of them he might not remember, but a lot of these Devin is seeing for the first time, and I think that, for me, it's going to be interesting to see what Devin, after watching Young Indiana Jones, after what he thinks about it after watching The Last Crusade, because I feel like The Last Crusade, it makes... Well, I think that Raiders is the best movie. I think that Last Crusade is the best Indiana Jones movie, because if you watch Young Indiana Jones, you're like, okay, wow, this makes... This makes just the whole series, wow, this is a very impactful series, and that's one of the reasons why I do say it's one of the most underrated series, because people only acknowledge not even half the movies. There's people only acknowledge 3 movies, and then they say, oh yeah, and I guess I skipped the 4th one, but they missed these entire great little TV shows of it. So yeah, it definitely improves. It definitely improves on Young Indiana Jones. Definitely improves. I think it improves on the prequels. Like I always explain it to people, that they're prequels, but they're not even really prequels. It's just like if a comic book, they made an origin story series. Like it's the
origin issue. It's
like that. It's a lot like Batman. They made that comic by Frank Miller, Batman Year One. That's a lot what it's like. So yeah, I really enjoy this these episodes. Sadly, we have another doozy on doozy. Um, yeah, and this one, I just want to apologize to you, Devin. It's gonna, it's gonna be a chore to sit through. Um,
I had so fun. Like I was sitting there intrigued by not the episode we're talking about now, but the one before it, the one with the why can't I not remember his name?
T.E. Lawrence.
The guy who like with the church thing, he was
Tolstoy.
Yeah, Tolstoy. Him. I really liked that episode. Like, I really liked it. Now I'm gonna have to get through another one that's like, oh, I don't want to watch this.
Yeah, well, I'm probably you can't have any because, you ain't old enough. But I might have to have a few boulevards or something just to pass time through that episode. Cause you might, and I don't know, you might need your favorite pop just in order so you don't fall asleep or something.
Check myself with this. I'll drink as much cough syrup as I need.
Yeah, I might even need to put some whiskey in my coffee, but you can't do that. Yeah, yeah, it's gonna. So yeah, ugh. Yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed this. I thought these two episodes were a lot of fun. One of the things that I liked is this elevator thing. Now I don't know how to describe this elevator thing. It was made out of wood, but it was like over this cliff. Well, it's like this pulley. That's the best way I'm trying to describe it for people. It's like an elevator, but it's like on a pulley system, and it's overhanging this cliff. Like how high up would you say that cliff is?
I'd say you don't want to fall down.
I mean, it has to be a good 12 feet or more, I would say.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just estimating, folks. But it's a high up there cliff, and Indiana Jones and his dad get stuck on it. And, well, you're like, okay, wow, what would you do in this situation? You're literally stuck. You're just hanging there on this rope that, and, yeah, ropes back then, they were strong ropes, but not... Let's put it this way. I would not want to climb a tree with those ropes. And, yeah, this is coming from somebody who has seen people climb, because that's what I do for a living, folks. I work for a tree service. And I stay on the ground because I don't even trust those ropes that the tree services guys use. And yeah, these little ropes that they had in the 1910s, you're better off probably just using a little yellow nylon rope, And even then, are you going to trust that with your life? If you...
Jones even says, what if we fell?
Junior, no!
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, Henry Jones Jr., so. But yeah, what I actually think it's kind of stupid on their part, but I understand why they're doing it. Indiana Jones was cold because they're just kind of hanging out there at one night, one night, and they light a fire.
Yeah, but the whole thing's made of wood.
Yeah, well, and then one of the things that I thought was really funny earlier, Indiana Jones and his dad are just having fun there. Well, okay, people did this back in the day. People don't do this much anymore, but they were skinny dipping. And what I thought was kind of funny...
Yeah, the goats eat their clothes.
Yeah, the goats eat their clothes. And what I thought that was funny is, I could totally see that in an Indiana Jones movie. Indiana Jones, I don't know, for whatever reason, Indiana Jones feels the need to go in the water to skinny dip, and then a bad guy steals his clothes. I could totally see that happening in an Indiana Jones movie, and maybe all Indiana Jones has is his hat to cover himself. I could just totally see that in Indiana Jones movie. I thought that was kind of funny. Um,
And then when they're walking and they're trying to cover themselves.
yeah, well, and I mean, all Indiana Jones' father covers himself is with his suitcase, which the goats at least left him the suitcase, I guess, right?
Yeah, but you do see, in one scene you do get to see a full moon. Get it?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Wait, what was this on again? Like, what was this on? What did this show come on?
ABC.
ABC?
Yeah.
ABC, and they showed a butt. I didn't
Yes.
think that would happen.
Well, and then young Indiana Jones covers himself was, well, they look like banana leaves. So yeah, I just thought this up.
That never would have been Poison Ivy.
Ouch.
Ah, yeah.
Okay, I actually know a guy that happened to. He got poison ivy there.
That'd be the worst thing ever.
Well, he said the funny thing is he couldn't. Then his parents bought him a special type of calamine lotion, and then he got an allergic reaction to calamine lotion. on top of the poison ivy. And then it got even worse. From a week later, he still had the poison ivy, and then he got poison oak.
Talk about bad luck.
Yeah, we just told him. Well, you just. I mean, we just told him. Well, boy, you should just stay inside. You know. But yeah.
Another thing. I like how when they're like ready to go home, Indiana Jones' dad is like, he's like, how we don't have to tell your mother about this adventure.
Yeah. This was a lot of fun, and sadly, like I said, the next episode is going to be kind of a doozy. But then,
isn't it?
it's like the Batman versus Superman / Justice League of.
Oh no! Oh God, no!
Well,
I'm sorry, but you compare. I get it. It's hard to make movies and stuff like this because I've tried to make stuff like this and failed several times.
Well, one reason in my reviews, like, even if it's a rant, I try to be nice about it. Like, I don't try to go over the top by certain YouTubers I like, but I don't try to go over the.
When I start reviewing on my channel, I won't try to do it on this channel, but I might go over the top with some reviews because there are just some movies. I know it's hard to make movies, but there are just some movies out there that, I can't stand.
Yeah, well, I always describe to people that making a movie is like, it's like putting random stuff into a blender. Okay, you grab this banana, you're going to put this in it. You grab these potato chips, you're going to put this into the blender. You grab the barbecue sauce, you're going to put this into a blender. You grab apples, you're going to put that into a blender. You grab the mayonnaise, you're going to put that into this blender. And you mix that all together and hope that it turns out good and that you get a great grand souffle. Or a great nice omelet or something. And then you come out and then either that or you make this thing that smells horrible and you're like, okay, well maybe hopefully it tastes good. And then you're sitting there, no, don't make that again. No, this is terrible. It's so. Yeah, that's what it's like to make a movie. It's like literally putting random stuff into a blender.
And seeing if it works.
Yes. Sometimes it doesn't, and sometimes it's great. So that's why when you see a truly great movie, think about it this way. A chef, because the head chef the head director, made a great grand souffle. Or he could have made a Ben-Hur or a Gone with the Wind where he made a great extravagant meal for you. Always think about movies in that sense, is what I tell people. And so, yes, overall I really did enjoy this one. And getting back to Devin's little thing, where he wanted to interview Spider-Man villains, that was...
Yeah, to say over on that, it is a series of, like, patient interviews. It's about villains locked up in the raft, and there is this, he is I would say, like, psyche ward guy, and he interviews Spider-Man villains, and, of course, I cannot do the voice that I want for every Spider-Man villain. Like, there's just some voices I hear in my head for Spider-Man villains, and I can't do them. So, anybody out there that, is a fan of Spider-Man, and wants to, like, voice one of the characters, please contact me, or, did you watch the video, Junebug?
I did.
You can watch the video series. I would say the Mysterio episode is... I put my best into it, but, like every video, I question if it's the worst thing ever.
Yeah, I thought it was interesting. I mean, Spider-Man's not personally my favorite superhero. I'd have to say my favorite superhero is probably the cliched answer now, probably Batman. Heck, I'm one of those that I think I've read... I'm one of the very few people that I've read the John Carter books. I think that John Carter is actually probably my favorite superhero, so... But if I had to pick a more well-known superhero, it would probably be Batman, so...
Batman and Spider-Man are my favorite superheroes, but I kind of lean towards Spider-Man since I am a teenager, and I relate to him because he has money troubles. I have money troubles. He's kind of the...
yeah.
I relate a lot to him, and there was this guy on YouTube, his name's Mr. Roast. If you are a Batman fan, and you love Batman's rogue story, go watch his channel, people. This is kind of blessy for him. But he did a series of, like, women interviewing Batman rogues. So I said, well, if Batman fans can have that, why can't Spider-Man fans?
Yeah, and he did Mysterio, which is probably definitely, one of the more interesting Batman, Spider-Man villains out there. He's a very interesting... He's probably my favorite villain.
Yeah, he was a studio effects guy. He did practical effects.
Yeah, so...
My version that I did in the interview, he was kind of a disgruntled. He was fired because they didn't want the practical stuff anymore. They said they could do it with CGI, so he was going to get fired. He kind of wanted to get revenge and all that. Go watch the video if you want to know more.
Yeah. Do you know who's next? Who you were thinking, or no?
Well, right now it's between Cletus Cassidy, a.k.a. Carnage, or Adrian Toomes, the Vulture. But I cannot voice it. I think I could do Cletus, but I cannot do Adrian Toomes for the life of me. So, anybody who can do a Vulture voice, please contact me.
Yeah. Well, I mean, guess I could try for Venom.
Well, it kind of won't be Venom per se. More Eddie Brock.
True.
If you could do an Eddie Brock voice, which I'm pretty sure.
I haven't
worked out Venom yet. I might have like him in the symbiote in the video, or him not in the symbiote. Or I might do two separate ones where he's in the symbiote and not in the symbiote. I don't know.
Well, I mean, I could do.
It's the start of the series.
I could do. Well, I mean, I don't know. I guess the only thing is, though, I don't exactly look like Topher Grace.
Well,
or
it really doesn't have to do.
that was a joke.
Yeah.
or drunk Tom Hardy, because during the whole movie Venom, for those who don't know, people, Tom Hardy was hammered throughout the whole set of the movie because he felt that Eddie Brock would be hammered. And if you watch the movie, you can kind of tell after knowing that, because it kind of makes sense with a lot of the decisions he made. So yes, I don't know. I thought it was a good first episode, and it's shot basically just like this. I mean, I'm pretty sure I don't know what Devin really did with it, but where I'm just having the camera set up on the tripod pointed at my TV with the Indiana Jones logo, just simple, and having Devin on speakerphone. So I don't really know how you did it. Do you want to get behind the scenes stuff or no?
It's not really that interesting. Maybe I'll get behind the scenes in a future video. It's not that interesting.
All right. All right. Well, that's cool. But
I will be doing the Stanley and Steve Ditko villains from right now. I started at Mysterio. I don't know which one I'm gonna do next, but it's gonna be Vulture, Green Goblin. I might do Carnage before I do the rest of the Steve Ditko and Stanley villains, because I think I can do a Carnage voice. But every time I do it, I can swear I'm doing a Joker voice. But I'll just have to see.
Alright, well, so check that out. Please like, comment, subscribe to this channel. Just subscribe to Devin. I'll have him leave a link in the comments down below.
To my channel.
Yep. And subscribe to him, and good job, guys. You made his channel succeed a little bit. What, you're almost at 100?
Almost.
Yeah.
Once I reach 100, I am literally going to probably, if I do reach 100, I honestly don't know what I'll do, because I know a lot of people say this, but I literally never expected. If you watch one of my earlier videos, I have a video where I'm excited about me getting 13 subscribers.
Yeah. Well, I started making videos now I don't know if these were actual trolls or not, but I mean I started making video. The only reason why I started making videos is I realized when I started to have it was over 10 subscribers. And I'm like, oh, I haven't even made any videos. That's cool. So let me just start making videos. That way people could get to know me, and it really kind of did work out and everything. And I actually kind of really enjoyed doing YouTube. It's kind of fun just talking movies and doing a series like this for you guys. Because honestly, Indiana Jones, I'll say it. While I'm a huge James Bond fan, I'm a huge Star Wars fan. I'm a huge Star Trek fan. I'm a huge pop culture franchise in general fan. But I'll say it. I think Indiana Jones is my Star Wars. And so, because that's how my channel first started out. I started to review young Indiana Jones, and I know Devin was the one who commented on almost all of those. And that's kind of why I picked him to be my co-host here. So.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to talk more about this channel, and maybe, hopefully, just kind of be an Indiana Jones channel, but where I still talk about movie reviews. I haven't really.
Indiana Jones channel mainly, but you still do other stuff.
Yeah, and I haven't really gotten a chance to do other stuff because I don't know. I mean, I'm more focused on this right now, so.
Me personally, for my channel, I just want to entertain. That was my whole thing when I started YouTube. I've always wanted to do a series, mainly involved, I wanted to do a Jason Penn film or a Batman series, and then my highlight that hopefully probably will never happen, a Spider-Man live-action series that I could make, but probably will never happen because we're too much money.
Use your Spider-Man toys.
I'm not good with stop motion. I tried stop motion. Of course, I deleted those videos because literally it was just me like, you could see my hands in the videos and me like, do. I actually had a pretty good story going, but it has to be stop motion. It can't be just me looking like playing with toys. If I could find someone who would be a good animator, like animate it, I don't care if they animate like stick figures, as long as they can tell the story.
Steven Spielberg. Back in the day, Steven Spielberg made this thing. It was Lego Studios, and that's how I made a lot of my early movies. Sadly, a lot of those movies are lost because memory card failure and stuff like that, and computer crashes. That's how I made a lot of my early movies. Is Lego Studios presented by Steven Spielberg. If Steven Spielberg, you have YouTube now. You could make so much money by making a new version of Lego Studios. I mean, Legos are bigger now than ever. Really. I mean, you could easily make that much, and I'm sure Devin and many other channels would appreciate that, where they could make their own little stop motion Spider-Man stuff. And one of the great things about Lego Studios is like, yeah, if you showed your hands, you could edit it where you could edit out your hands and stuff.
Yeah. I just really want to, because I have a good Spider-Man story. I've been thinking about this Spider-Man series since I was like 5, because ever since I watched the first Spider-Man movie, I've wanted to make my own spin on the Spider-Man character. And it would be nothing like that show on Disney XD, Marvel's Spider-Man. Nothing like that.
Is that the one where Drake Bell voices Spider-Man?
That is the one where they made the Green Goblin Adrian Toomes. The Green Goblin was just another suit for Adrian Toomes. They, I don't know the actor for Spider-Man in that show, but, what's that, Horizon High, and basically all his friends get spider powers, and it makes Peter Parker basically nothing, because it doesn't make really, he can't be like, oh, I either have to go on this date, or be Spider-Man, because there's other Spider people, so you can be like, oh, you can go do it, I can do this. It doesn't make my personal life troubles. It just makes me mad. The show.
Okay, yeah, there was one where Drake Bell of Drake and Josh fame, he voiced Spider-Man.
I think that's Ultimate Spider-Man.
Yeah.
I'm talking about Disney XD's Marvel Spider-Man. It's the newest show.
Yeah.
Any fans out there, I'm sorry, but that is just a terrible representation of Spider-Man. That's why I want to get my Spider-Man series out there, so people can have a good interpretation of the character.
Out of curiosity, who do you think is the best live-action Spider-Man?
I know a lot of people like Tom Holland, but Tobey Maguire got the character the most right. He has the money troubles. He has the personal life stuff. Overall, he might not be young, but he is Spider-Man.
Yeah. Honestly, I think that my favorite is the one who gets the most bad rap. I think Andrew Garfield was the best.
I would say to have the perfect Spider-Man, you need to take a dash of Tobey Maguire and a dash of Andrew Garfield and mix them together.
Yeah.
Now, of course, I didn't mention Tony Stark Jr. because, in my opinion, we don't need Tony Stark Jr. in that mix.
No, well, I don't even see. That's my biggest problem with the newer Spider-Man. Yeah, this is Indiana Jones radio, but we're talking about other random stuff, folks. So sorry about that. But yeah, I didn't like. I don't like Tom Holland as an actor, and plus, like I've heard, I think part of the reason is I've heard like all the stuff that he does on set. Like Tom Holland is a little prick on set. Like, I'm not for directors doing this, but I'm for directors if an actor is being a prick because you are the guy in charge and they're being a prick and demanding stuff. I think as the director, you have the right to yell at your actor and tell him do the tell him to do the beep shot, and stop, ordering your juice and stuff or beer or whatever he orders, because he's very demanding on set. He's very ungrateful, and even like Anthony McDaniels was saying this, I believe. So I have more of a personal conflict, I think, with Tom Holland, where he's just a little prick on set who needs. Honestly, back in the day, in the era that I love in Hollywood, the 30s, they would have slapped Tom Holland. Because Tom Holland needs a good slapping.
Yeah, you have a more personal thing with him. I don't like him because of his interpretation of Spider-Man, just like I don't like Disney's Marvel's Spider-Man.
Yeah. Well, that's the problem. It's like, it even gets back to this. I don't want. I do not want anything for Indiana Jones where they make. They don't PC Indiana Jones because.
They change his character beyond recognition.
Well, yeah. I mean, that's why I said okay, I would tell the actor, don't play Harrison Ford Indiana Jones, but base your character on Tom Selleck, who was originally going to be Indiana Jones. Like, I described Indiana Jones when I was writing notes on a character for a script I was writing. I described him as Sherlock Holmes when it comes to different cultures. A very smart man, but he's also James Bond, but he thinks he has the charm. That's the whole thing about Indiana Jones. A very smart man, he is James Bond, but he thinks he has the charm.
Yeah.
And so base your performance on Tom Selleck is what I would say, and pick any Sherlock Holmes actor to base your performance on. I mean, there's how many to choose from.
Yeah.
So yeah. Anyway, let's wrap up here. So please like, comment, subscribe again. We're saying this again, but yeah, let's enjoy this episode. And I know that a lot of you guys aren't watching this episode because these are long little things, but that's why it's called Indiana Jones Radio. This is meant for you guys to watch it in the background as you do quarantine. Maybe watch it in the background when you play video games. So you are focused more on something more interesting rather than playing Dead by Daylight or Friday the 13th or the new Predator game, something else that you can have in the background versus just you killing people.
Yeah.
What other popular games are there that people play now that people could watch?
Call of Duty.
Well, yeah. Well, yeah.
Do people still play Spider-Man PS4?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't really know what people. I don't know. I don't really know what people watch now because I play a system that I grew up with, my N64. So, and I'm perfectly happy with just playing that.
I have a PS4, PS3, PS2. I have all the PSs, and I have a.
What about we don't have a PS1?
What?
You don't have a PS1?
I said PS.
One?
Yeah, it's in storage.
Okay.
I don't think I have controllers for it though. I think I just have it.
Well, yeah, I don't know. Hey, the new consoles are coming out. Let's hope that Disney, because if I became the head, Lucas Arts will be back, and that's one of the first things I'll do is make a good Indiana Jones video game, because that's one thing that we'll talk about a long down the road on this channel. We'll talk about the Indiana Jones video games. Some of them.
There are video games?
Yeah, well, some of them you can't play because they were on the computer back in the day, but you could watch, videos of them on YouTube and stuff. Now, granted, you're sitting there for 8 hours watching Indiana Jones video games, but yeah,
I've watched people play the entire original, like, I think it's NES version of Spider-Man game. So I think I could sit there and watch someone play an Indiana Jones game.
yeah. Well, there's Indiana Jones and the Fate of Atlantis, Indiana Jones and the Infernal Machine, Indiana Jones and the Emperor's Tomb, and then there's Staff of Kings, which.
Wait a second, that's the way they could do Indiana Jones now. If you still want to have Harrison Ford, you could have him voice the character in a video game, like keep the series going as a video game.
Yeah, well, good intentions, but Harrison Ford, they've asked it before, but Harrison Ford wanted his Harrison Ford does not understand that video games are okay. A lot of video games are lower budgeted than movies, so Harrison Ford is just thinking he says, I don't understand. I'll do the voice for an animated movie, and it says basically Harrison Ford asks his movie price to do a video game, and that's why they've never hired him to do the voice of Han Solo or Indiana Jones, because Harrison Ford literally asks his price for what it would be for him to do a movie. Because Harrison Ford is, I don't know if Harrison Ford really understands the fact that they're a video game. They're a lot. Some of them are lower budgeted than movies.
I think if they wave money up, they'll do it.
Probably, but yeah. Anyway, they have a lot of good voice actors to play Indiana Jones in some of the video games. Some of the video games are not exactly the best in the world. Like Staff of Kings really sucked because the whole concept is Indiana Jones. This is what we mentioned in the first episode, where Indiana Jones, one of the MacGuffins he could do was finding a lost treasure. Well, the lost treasure that Indiana Jones finds in the video game, Staff of Kings, is the Staff of Moses, which doesn't work because Moses just had a stick. It was just a stick. That's it. God was giving the powers to Moses for that stick, so the stick was not magical. So that's the whole thing about it. Emperor's Tomb, obviously, mummies and stuff. Infernal Machine is probably the best one, and I actually have that game. Infernal Machine is probably the best one because it really goes into the Babylonian gods and stuff like that. Very intriguing. And then there's Indiana Jones and the Fate of Atlantis, which that one's considered the best one by fans. So.
Yep.
So yeah, well that'll be long down the road. We're just gonna focus on the movies for now, and then I don't know what we're gonna do after the movies. We might do the video games after that, or if we can or if I can get more of the books and Devin can maybe see how much money we get after quarantine. We can do a book review for you guys or something, assuming we're both fast readers.
I would say I'm kind of a fast reader, maybe not.
Yeah.
It took me 2 weeks to finish the Stephen King's It.
I did that that's pretty fast. It took me about a month to read that one.
Well, the thing with me, I was reading it for school. It was this thing. I read it back in I'm surprised my teacher even let me read it. It was back in 6th grade, I think. And yeah, they had this thing, and if we read enough books, we could have a pizza party. So I asked her if I could. I looked at the book and I saw the clown on there. I'm like, well, I want to read this. Sounds interesting. And it was a really long book. And she told me if I read that, but that one book, I could automatically go there. So that's why I read it as much as I could.
Yeah, and yeah, and hopefully you imagine Tim Curry as Pennywise and not that other guy.
Tim Curry, you mean God? says he is it. He made it. The 2017 movie wouldn't exist if it wasn't for Tim Curry making that miniseries awesome.
Yeah, well, I don't know, that whole miniseries just kind of, that whole miniseries, that's more horror than any horror movie that has come out in the past 20 years. I mean, yeah, that is a truly great series. And I'm sorry, I'd rather take over the top laughing, the ha 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 ha, than the creepy pedo laugh,
Or the constant jump scares.
Yes, yeah, and
that's one thing I don't like about modern horror movies is so many jump scares. I mean, there has to be some other way to scare people.
Well, look at it. How to scare people is more about, not just gore and not just, over the top jump scares. It's atmosphere is the big thing to scare people. Or if you're gonna jump scare, no music. That's the thing that ruins jump scares. If, like, Jason, for instance, Friday the 13th. Yeah, sometimes there's music, but sometimes the best kills are the silent ones where you just see Jason murder. Yeah, but if it's modern, it's just like Jason stabs you, then boom, boom, boom. Just the big overbearing music, and it just ruins it. The great thing about and it's also about, like, how you film your shot. Like Silence of the Lambs, why people sit there still thinking that that's one of the scariest movies of all time, is because how it's shot. Where, okay, Clarice, when you first see her, how they do angles where, she feels smaller, and then they do angles where they do a wide angle with Anthony Hopkins, where you feel more because he looks bigger because of how the camera is positioned and how they use a wider shot. It makes Anthony Hopkins seem bigger to small Clarice. And so if they took, like, the Exorcist approach to a Friday the 13th movie, or a Silence of the Lambs approach to a Friday the 13th movie, I think Jason has the potential to be the most scariest out of all of the slasher villains, because Michael Myers, I'm sorry folks, Michael Myers is not scary anymore. I mean, there's nothing new you could do with Michael Myers. And because I'll say it, Halloween died with Donald Pleasence. And
I feel that same way. The new movie felt empty to me without Donald Pleasence.
Well, and
I mean, I'm gonna go see this new one because, of course, I'm a Halloween fan. But, like, there will always be that spot that never can be filled by the looks of Donald Pleasence.
See, well, and Friday the 13th, though, there's so much more you could do with Jason, because the series just kind of... It's one of the reasons why I think Jason's my favorite slasher, is because Jason just kind of went on to... Like, he was never really, like... You never knew what Jason was. Like, we knew, okay, Freddy was a demon. Obviously, Michael Myers was a little boy obviously possessed by a demon, let's face it. I mean, they never really hinted at that, but it's kind of obvious. Jason, we never knew really what he was. Is he this? Well, did he actually drown or what? It was always kind of up for your own interpretation.
It's a mystery. It's like kind of a mystery.
Yeah, that's what I always liked about Jason. And
we should do a thing like this, a video about, like, modern horror, the problems of modern horror.
Yeah, that'll be another episode. But anyway, for the third time, folks, like, comment, subscribe. This video is getting a little too long, so like, comment, subscribe, and let's have a great time watching movies. I'm Ty, Junebug Films.
And I'm Devin, Master of Fear, and we'll see you guys in the next one.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, because it's going to be terrible.
Yes.
The next episode.
All right.